Hello YouTube, this is Zen Biker and welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel, or you could be watching this from Facebook. So today what we're doing is we're going through Lacson Street because I'm gonna give you a demo on my Z650 and what she's like in traffic. And while we're at it, we might as well, show you around Bacolod City by going through Lacson Street. Lacson Street is like our EDSA. You can pretty much go through all of Bacolod City by going north and south through it. And almost everything is there. Well, almost. And officially Lacson Street starts on this flyover, and the moment you get to the other side, it's officially Lacson Street already. So Lacson Street is like 8 to 10 kilometers, my estimation, and it goes through the whole city, north and south, and it's one of our major roads, and you can find almost everything in it, all the bars, all the hotels, well, not all, but most of them anyway. And as long as you're on the street, and if you're new to the city, then you'll never be lost. All you need to do is head north and then south, and it's not that particularly long. And that tells you, of course, that the city is not that big. So, but it's a decent sized city. I mean, it has a decent sized population, and judging from the amount of traffic, you can pretty much tell that it's alright as far as the average income of the people here. But we're not here to talk about the city. We're here to talk about my Z650 and how she behaves in traffic. And it's one of those bikes you call street fighters, and it lives up to its name. I mean, if you're riding a sport bike with full fairing like its a sister, the Ninja, then you're not gonna have with as much ease going through traffic as you are with a Z650, because for one thing, without the fairings, it's lighter. Then you would have a turning radius is much better, maneuverability definitely better, and you're not hunched over like most sports bike are. This is a sport bike, but it's a naked sport bike. And me as a rider, particularly, I don't like being hunched over, probably because of my age. I guess mostly because it can hurt the wrist. And even with the Z650, this is a upright riding position, but because of my height, I'm 5'4.5". I'm still a little hunched over. So working out and having good abs will really help you, because you can shift the weight to your stomach instead of putting it all on your wrist. Okay, so traffic's building up now, and I guess it's perfect for our demo this morning. And there's construction going on here. So what used to be a two-way, a two-lane street on each side is now, well, they took one because they're building some drainage system here. And it's probably perfect for a demo because I can show you how she is like in traffic. So it has a very good power to weight ratio, so it's quick. It's like, as long as there's a open road in front of you, you can just like zip past through everybody. And it's not noisy. I don't like it noisy. Everything here is stock. I didn't put noisy exhaust like a Krapovich exhaust because I don't want to attract too much attention to myself. Although this bike is a looker and it does attract attention just for the fact that it's big. It's a middleweight. It's a 650. So well, it's not as torquey or as fast as a liter bike, but it's very light, so power to weight ratio is very good. I wouldn't say quicker because I really have no point of comparison. I haven't been into a drag race with liter bikes. But it does its job really well of getting through traffic. Of course, on a standstill, bumper to bumper traffic, smaller displacement bikes could, you know, outdo you. But for a big bike, and being as maneuverable as this, going through places where only small bikes dwell, it's pretty good. So I don't know if you can do those things that I've just been doing with liter bikes. Probably you can, with difficulty, of course. And I haven't owned a fully faired bike, so I wouldn't know. But I would say they would be hard to turn, and they're designed that way. Of course, those bikes will outdo me an open highway, but not here. So Street Fighter indeed. And the brakes are pretty good too, so I guess we're halfway through Lacson now, and we're just going through traffic with ease, as if it's not a big bike, and going through places, squeezing, filtering. Some people would frown upon it, but it's allowed here in Bacolod City, in most of the Philippines anyway, but some people frown upon it. And going south, the traffic is not so bad. Up north, well, it can be. Now, why would I choose a Z650 or a Kawasaki for that matter over other bikes? I went through a lot before buying this thing, and you know, a lot of research and all that stuff, and balancing what I can afford and the features I want and the performance that I want. I ended up with a Z650. And compared with other bikes in its class, like MT-07 for example, or probably a Duke 690, and maybe a GSX, I would say that this is the cheapest in the bunch. But it's definitely not a cheap bike. I mean, sure, the build quality is probably better on a Yamaha or on a Suzuki, but this will not fall apart if you drive it hard. Definitely not. So for what I want and for the money I got, it's the most fun I can get. My gripes about the Z650 or Kawasaki in general is probably just isolated to being in Bacolod City. The service here is absolutely suck because there's only one service station, and you have to fall in line with everybody. And you know, if you bought a big bike, you would want a big bike experience, and but you're right in there with everyone, the small bikes, the tricycles. And I guess these guys are up for a race. I don't really want to watch, especially on video. So so if you bought a big bike and you want a big bike experience, Kawasaki is not exactly the big choice, unless you're okay, you know, falling in line with everybody and buying the oil and the parts which you may need, because you won't find it there. And so that's number one. And number two, for this particular to my case, I got a really bad financing. I got a rent to own instead of, you know, the normal mortgage one. And I guess it's my fault for falling into it. But I really thought that the LTO registration will be under my name, but it turns out it wasn't. So I don't like that. So, but of course you can get financing through other means, like for example, you can go through Sumisho, or probably go to a better shop with a better in-house financing. But that's only particular to me and to the particular financing which I got, which can be easily fixed by finding the right shop and finding the right financing company. So okay, so those are my only two gripes, but as far as everything else, this bike is awesome. But I might return it anyway, and probably I'll get an upgrade because my needs have changed, and I think I'm gonna get an adventure bike for a bunch of different reasons, which we can probably discuss in the next episode. But I guess that's the end of Lacson. I think we've just gone through it end to end, so it's not a particularly big city. So that's it for this episode of N-Biker. Thanks for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time for another episode of N-Biker.